Welcome to my bedroom. I'm going to be answering some questions. I am currently taking a college class right now, so yes, yay, I've officially started college. It's English 102, so it's going to be super fun. We're reading literature, reading poetry, and analyzing that stuff. But I am super busy now. I have a job and I have school to focus on, so I wanted to put out a little fun video that didn't require me to do too much creative thinking on my end. Without further ado, let's get into it. Yes, I have them written down on pieces of paper because if you didn't know, I film all my YouTube videos with my phone, if you couldn't tell from the quality of the videos. First question relates to college. So, what are you studying and where are you studying? So, I am going to be majoring in education and minoring in linguistics. My big goal is to teach English as a second language in a foreign country. I have fallen completely in love with languages throughout my high school experience, and I've gotten the opportunity to study both Spanish and French while in high school. I've always loved English, and just recently, in the past 2 years, I discovered my love of teaching students and teaching people about languages. So I thought, what better way to combine all of the things that I love than to teach English as a second language in a foreign country. So that's my goal. In terms of like what country, I would love to go to Spain, I would love to go to France, but I think ultimately my dream would be to teach in Latin America. And to be able to teach English down there. That would be my dream. So in terms of where I'm studying, for my first year I'm going to a community college called RCBC, and then after that I really want to transfer to Montclair. Montclair is my dream school. It is up in North Jersey, and I got to visit there with my mom this past fall, and I loved everything about it, and I would love to go there to study. Next question. What are you most excited for in college? I think that what appeals to me most about college and the college experience is the opportunity to just study what you really want. For me, the most exciting thing is probably just taking all those language courses, taking courses about the history of language and the history of education, taking courses on linguistics and like studying how words have developed over time and where languages have come from, and also learning how to teach students. Just getting to fully experience what it's like to study what I want to study. Number 3, what is your favorite breed of dog? I would have to say that I am partial to my own dog. He is an Akita, which is a Japanese breed of dog. It's kind of like if you took a husky and they're like made it a little bit bigger, and it has like a little curly tail. Yeah, I love big dogs, so really any big fluffy dog would be a dog that I would love. And I also like Irish wolfhounds. Those are pretty cool. That, and I would say a big Saint Bernard. You know, like one of those dogs that are just like big teddy bears. That is all I need. What is your favorite bread? I made this bread for my Gaelic club this past year, and it was just like everything like that reminds you of just like Christmas. It was spices and raisins and like cinnamon and nutmeg and just like all these warm spices baked into like a bread, and it just tasted amazing. That is maybe my favorite type of bread, and I can't remember for the life of me what it was called, but if I ever find it again, I want to make that because it just like you smell it. And if you've ever walked into like a garden center during Christmas time or like a Christmas tree shop and just like you breathe in like Christmas, that's what it smells like. And eating it is like good for your soul, so that may be my favorite type of bread. This is an interesting one. This is actually a really interesting question. Beep or boop? Now, if I think about it, I think these two separate words serve different purposes. Like, a boop is like a quick little boop, like you boop someone on the nose, but a beep is more like a you know, it's got that like feeling, so it's like a beep. It's kind of more annoying. It's like quick and sharp and annoying, but like a boop is like cute, so I'm going with the boop. How does it feel to be the most awesome person alive? Now, I get this question a lot, and it's like super hard for me to answer because how do you like come to terms with the fact that you are the most awesome person alive? But over my 18 years of life, I've realized that it feels pretty dang amazing. I'm just kidding. This question was sent by one of my very good friends and my daughter. But I stick with it. It feels pretty dang amazing. Is Maggie Somerville your favorite child? Yes. No, after telling me that I'm the most amazing person alive, then yes, of course you're my favorite child. No, I love Maggie. I love you, Maggie. What is your favorite Disney movie, not including the franchises? So there's this really old and obscure Disney movie called Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and I love this movie. Like, I cannot express how much I love this movie. I watched it so many times as a kid, I might just have it memorized. It's set in England during World War II, and there is this witch who's studying witchcraft, and she lives in this tiny little village. During World War II, they would send the children who lived in cities and areas that were likely to be bombed out to the countryside. So there's these 3 children who are all siblings who come to this town, and they end up living with her and learning that she's a witch. And so they have to go on this like hunt to try to find Dr. Emilius Brown, who is the person who is teaching her witchcraft, but he turns out to be like a fake, but she's a real witch. And they have to search for the last page of this ancient spell book that has a spell on it that will make inanimate objects move. So they look for this spell, they find it, and they start making inanimate objects move, which is pretty dang cool. But then the Nazis arrive and they occupy the little town, and they send all of the inhabitants to the castle that like is part of the town because it's like England or whatever. And so they're trapped in this castle, and she uses the spell to make all the armor and the knights and like the red coat uniforms that are displayed in this castle to come to life. So there's suits of armor from different ages. There's like armor, and they're carrying like machine guns, or they're carrying swords and weapons, and there's like Scotsmen dressed in their kilts, and they have bagpipes, and there's red coats with their bayonets, and all these uniforms and drummers and horses and everything come to life, and they start fighting back against the Nazis. And I just love that movie so much because it's so nostalgic to me, but it has like everything I love. It's got witchcraft, it's got magic, it's got history, it's got song, it's got dance, and it's got a witch using magic to fight back against the Nazis.
Sound the advance!
So it's a pretty cool Disney movie, and I always ask people like, oh, have you seen Bedknobs and Broomsticks? And the answer is like most often no, which I'm like, you're missing out. So definitely recommend, check out Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Do you know the Muffin Man? Of course I know the Muffin Man. Him and I, we go way back. We're buddies. Anytime I'm baking a muffin, I call him up and we bake together. What is your social security number, address, and last 3 digits of your credit card? Now guys, I'm not stupid. I'm not gonna give you that. Maggie, I'll text you. I'm gonna move on to the questions that my sisters gave me. So these are gonna be interesting because I haven't read these yet, so we'll see what happens. What 3 Star Wars characters would you want to be? I think it would be really cool to be Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, who wouldn't want to be Obi-Wan Kenobi? Although, like, you know, he loses a lot in his life, he's just a pretty cool Jedi, you know? Oh, I would want to be Darth Maul too. Yeah, because his moves are killer, and his double-edged lightsaber is pretty cool. I want one of those. It's kind of like a bow staff, but it's got a blade on both sides, and I just wanna swing that around. Is it bad to say that I would want to be the child? Like the little baby Yoda from The Mandalorian? Like, can I please be that? I just want to be that tiny. Just want to be tiny. Which do you like better, uke or guitar? Personally, I like playing guitar better. In the beginning, I didn't because it was frustrating for me. I think it was really helpful that I started on playing ukulele because it's much simpler, it's much easier to press down on the strings, and it's much easier to learn songs. So it was kind of like my entry into playing guitar, but I prefer guitar now because I really like the sound, and there's a lot of things you can do with guitar that you can't do with uke. What's your favorite 1975 song? Oh my gosh, this is so hard. The 1975 one, their albums have such different like vibes to them that it really does fit specific different parts of my life. So like the first album will always, always, always remind me of like freshman year. I think one that I will like always jam out to is Love Me. I know that I will always come back to that song and just be able to like jam out to it. So maybe that one, Love Me. What is your favorite celebrity drawing? Show to the camera. Okay, well, I think what she means by this is like celebrity drawing that I have done. And I think she's hinting at a specific one that I just did recently. And I will display it now. Yes, this is a drawing of Adam Driver that I did for my friend's 16th birthday. I'm very proud of it. I think I did a pretty good job at it. Obviously there's room for improvement, but I'm proud of this drawing. What is your favorite Adam Driver quote? And she put a little smiley face, 2 hearts, and XO, XO, XO. Thank you, Annalise. My favorite Adam Driver quote might be, "You can take a man out of Mishawaka, but the spirit of this town is something that you can't Mishawaka away from." And I like that quote for no other reason than it makes me laugh. What is your favorite TV show? Now, I do not watch TV a lot, and it's because for the vast majority of my life, I really didn't watch anything except for like, this is gonna sound sad, but like when I was a kid I watched a lot of World War II documentaries for some reason, and I also watched a lot of like History Channel and like Discovery Channel things, and like Planet Earth. That is so good. Planet Earth is such a good TV show. But now I finally have Netflix, so I can watch things. I have really been enjoying watching The Office, because I don't have to think when I watch that show. Like I can just sit down and watch it and laugh. And it's stupidly hilarious. I love The Office. But I also am watching this show called Bolivar, and it is a show in Spanish. Obviously there are English subtitles, but I've been watching it in Spanish. This show is so good. If you like history, if you like Spanish, and if you like period pieces, some war, some drama, some romance, this show has it all. I love this show so much. It talks about the fight for independence in South America, specifically with Venezuela, Colombia, Peru, Ecuador. And it talks about Simón Bolívar, who was the liberator who fought for the freedom of these countries from Spanish rule. And it's really, really important. He is really important to the history of those countries, and I just love this show. If it wasn't for that show, I really wouldn't know who Simón Bolívar was, and I wouldn't know who Manuelita Sáenz was, and she's super important too. I love her. Like, she's so great. Sometimes I forget that she was an actual real person because she seems like such a cool character, but I gotta remind myself, like, hey, this lady was real, and she, like, all these things that she did were real. So 10 out of 10 recommend. It is on Netflix, and it is in Spanish, but there are English subtitles, so I recommend. Would you rather be a puddle or a stick? What? Would I rather be a puddle or a stick? I think I would rather be a puddle. Because there's a lot of cool things that happen in puddles. Like, puddles aren't always just a pool of water. Sometimes there's dirt in puddles. Sometimes there's sticks in puddles and leaves, and there's bubbles, and there's ants and worms. And, and also, I love staring into puddles. As a kid, for some reason, I would just stare into puddles because seeing the reflection of like the sky behind me and the trees behind me but on the ground was so mesmerizing for some reason. And sometimes I just wanted to like fall into it and like, you know, tumble into a different dimension. Puddles are super cool, so I think I'd rather be a puddle than a stick. If you could take one celebrity around the world with you, who and why? This is... If I had the chance, I would go around the world with Audrey Hepburn. No doubt in my mind, that is who I would take. Because, one, she herself was very educated about the world, and she spoke many different languages, so she and I would be able to communicate back and forth in different countries, in different languages, and I think that would be so cool. Two, Audrey Hepburn had such a positive outlook on life and just a positive energy about everyone and a very open heart and an open mind to everything. So I don't think she would be stingy around different cultures, or she would like limit where we went just because of different things. And I think she would be like up for traveling wherever and experiencing like every piece of culture, every country we came across. So I think that I would like to go with Audrey Hepburn. Plus, like, oh my gosh, Audrey Hepburn. Like, she's amazing. Like, could you imagine talking with her and getting to know her, just traveling with her? That would be my dream. What was your most recent dream? She's really gonna expose me like this. I have really weird and vivid dreams, but the most recent one that I had, that I haven't written down yet, was a really strange dream where everything was in color, but this one person was in black and white, and the person was Timothée Chalamet. Don't come at me, just let me explain. Please just let me explain. I hadn't watched anything with him in it recently. I hadn't like been thinking about him, you know, recently. So I don't know why he appeared in this dream, but he was there, and we were in like some kind of like marketplace, or we were at some kind of event. I can't really discern which it was, but everything kind of around us is in color, but he was in black and white. And for some reason I could tell that he was emotionally hurt by something, and I don't know what it was, but like sometimes in my dreams I feel emotions and I feel them really deeply. So I felt that, and I was like, I need to help him somehow. How do I do this? And I tried to like bring him somewhere else and like try to help him, and he was like very unresponsive and like sad. And the dream like morphed into something else. I don't really remember what happened. I'm sorry that wasn't a very interesting dream, but that was my most recent dream. I think one day I'll have to make a video where I go through my dream journal, because I have like 3 years worth of the craziest dreams, like wild dreams. You could make novels out of these dreams. Who is your favorite Disney character? I freaking love Pocahontas and I love Mulan. For some reason, those two characters were like so like part of my childhood that like I continue to love them to this day. I think I would watch like Pocahontas and Mulan every single day. I watched a lot of movies when I was a kid, and they were always Disney movies, but like I wanted to be both of those girls. Like I wanted to be them so badly. I have to move my legs. If you had to relive one day in your life forever, which day would you choose and why? So I would definitely pick a day from my childhood. I can't think of any specific day because a lot of days were like this in my childhood, but when my parents would go to work, my grandmother would come over and watch me, and she would always bring scones. We would always have tea, and we would always dress up, and we would always bake things together. Like we would bake cookies, watch movies, go on walks, play outside, play with my dog. And everything was just so perfect during those days. There was never anything wrong. Nothing was bad. You know, that was like the perfect golden piece of my childhood that I wish I could relive forever. Yeah, so I would pick one of those days where I got to spend time with my bubby when I was little and play with Polly Pockets and watch The Little Mermaid. If money weren't a concern, what would you do with your life? Where would you live? I would probably continue to study languages. I probably would still feel the desire to teach languages somehow, some way. I don't know whether that would be in a formal school, but I think I would love to be some kind of maybe tutor or instructor of languages. I would also pursue an acting career. When I was in middle school, my heart was set on being an actress, and I still love to act. I still love taking part in theater production. I hope one day maybe I'll get to do auditions for other things, but that it's a very much a hobby and not a career. So if money weren't a concern, I would pursue acting. I definitely would. And I would try to build my craft, try to get better at acting, and I would audition for anything and everything I could. I would also continue training in martial arts. I would become a very dedicated martial artist. I would also travel to to all the countries that I've ever wanted to visit. I've never been outside the United States, so I would love to go just all over Europe, all over South America. I want to visit Russia. I want to visit India. I want to visit Japan. Oh my gosh, yeah. I would go to all those countries and more. I would learn the languages. I would learn the culture. I would eat the food. I would dance. I would play music. It would be so great. That's what I would do. And in terms of where I would live, I wouldn't live in one place. I would be constantly moving. I would be living a nomadic life. I would stay in a spot for a little bit and then move on. I think my personality is kind of strange because I do have very tight ties with certain things and I do hold on to things and never let them go, but at the same time I'm very much one who believes in moving on and finding new things, and I'm constantly finding new things to do with my life, trying new things. So I think that I would probably hop around all over the place, make friends in all different countries, and never really settle down in just one spot. Maybe when I got real old, I would settle down in like Scotland. That's where I would go. I would go way away from everyone else. And I would build myself a little cottage in the Scottish Highlands and just live there with my sheep and my chickens. This is the last question. If you had an evil clone that was trying to convince your family that you were the evil clone, what is the one thing that you could say to let them know that you are the real you? Okay. I have it. And it's so stupid. But when I was little and my dad would pick me up from my other grandparents' house, who lived like 20 minutes away from our house, from them babysitting me, he would take me to dinner. We would always get fast food. So he would say, would you like McDonald's or would you like Chick-fil-A? And I always said Chick-fil-A. And whether or not we ate at McDonald's or Chick-fil-A, I always got the same thing, chicken nuggets. But for some reason, I said chicken nuggets. So, I would call chicken nuggets chicken nuggets. Like, I would, nuggets. So that is what I would say to my parents and my family to show them that it's the real me, because that was something that I did when I was a kid. And they would just know, because it's so specifically me, that no one else would know that except for all of you. I just told you, so now you know. So if you become an evil clone of me, now you know my secret. But yeah, I would just tell them that, and hopefully they would realize that it's the real me. And I'm not the evil clone. That was very fun and entertaining, for me at least. I hope you enjoyed watching that. And I hope you learned a little bit about me. As always, thank you for watching my videos. I hopefully will be putting out some covers, maybe some new music. I'm writing some songs right now, but they're not quite ready yet, and I'm still very busy with school. We'll still be doing Throwback Thursdays because I have those videos all set and ready. And as of right now, this is farewell. I will see you sometime. Don't know when, don't know how. Maybe we'll meet each other in the future. Maybe we'll cross paths. Our paths will cross. Our stars will be not crossed. Our stars will be aligned, and we will go through life together. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, this is too long now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye!